Most home service companies are using social media like a portfolio. They post their finished work, they post 5-star reviews, and then they wonder why nobody cares. In this episode, I'm sitting down with Jade Sprake. She's pulled in over 10 million views in the home service space, and she breaks down what actually drives attention and inbound demand. We get in the shift that changes everything. Stop trying to prove you're good and start making people feel connected to you. Jade breaks down what that actually looks like in practice, from what to film when you don't have a camera crew, how to make the day-to-day interesting, to the pieces of content that will always outperform those before and after photos. If you want more leads and a brand people choose even when you're not the cheapest in town, this one's for you. Jade, you have over 10 million views on your social media platform just in the last 6 months alone. Almost 50,000 followers on Instagram, all in the home service space. What do guys need to be doing to get this kind of exposure?
The first thing I would think of is like, people need to stop posting so much about like the customer reviews and the work that they're doing and like speaking into all the jobs that they're doing, but more so speak into like who they are, why they run it, who their team is, like the values behind the company, the things the company focuses on, and then show it. Like,
so you're telling me like they got to stop showing like the results, like, hey, this is the new job I did.
People will post like just a photo of a testimonial, and it's like, what does that do for anyone? Like, I feel like if I really wanted to check working with you, I would go look at the Google reviews. I'll look at your website. All the information I need to know about the job and the execution you can do lives there. But social media to me is the place that you actually get to connect with somebody, and it's really disconnected to just show them like a photo of a house and be like, windows are in, and it's like, cool. Like, it doesn't really help much. But getting to like tell a story of like, people don't understand the amount of work it takes to actually put a window in a house, for example, or like all of those steps, and like explaining that out is actually a lot more interesting. And being like, or like, people will say, like, I can imagine like the storyline of people. Have you ever seen that thing that people are like, have you ever seen your neighbor take out their garbage? And people are like, never. Like, it doesn't exist. Like, it's just like one of those, like, we're all in like the same mirage that like our neighbors never take out their garbage. But like, imagine being like, you've never seen windows be put in a house. Today's the day. And then you like joke around with it being like, this is your moment. And like, that to me is a lot more interesting. And I'm more like emotionally connected to like, how are they going to turn out, than being like, cool windows.
So what I'm hearing is make social media social.
Make it social, make it creative, make it your own. Just make it so like, the more creativity that you can throw into it, to me, is like the most valuable thing that you can do. Again, like your personality is the most like it is the most valuable thing that you can own. And I think leaning harder into the things that you can create from yourself for your company is so strong, other than being like, house, like this, a job is done, this is done. Like, showing the back end, showing the struggles, showing like, if anything, like the best way that you can show a customer testimonial isn't like what they say or the finished product, but getting those videos being like, we surprised our like customer with doing, like, she wanted her floors redone, but we ended up redoing her entire first and second floor, and we're going to surprise her. And like, that kind of stuff will hit harder than any like written testimonial review.
So Jade, the reason why you're sitting here today is because I saw one of your Instagram videos and you've had a lot of viral videos about the trades. You have a great personal brand. How has your ability to tell stories and build a personal brand impacted you in the trades and home services?
I feel like it started honestly because I just kind of owned that I didn't know anything about trades or the industry, and was going into something that like was completely unknown, but I wanted to do it as a girl who was young, who didn't have a degree or no background in this space. And the biggest thing that I got out of it wasn't necessarily business or like anything that helped my companies grow or the franchises grow, but was just the ability to like meet cool people. Like, a lot of the contracts that I got with other trade companies, to get contracts with them, a lot of just networking opportunities that I got with different people. I would say like the biggest impact was more the people and the opportunities that it brought me, and less like,
well, it's interesting. You have something going for you that's like completely unique, especially in the trades and home services. One, you're young, 22 years old. Usually people that are 22 in the trades are maybe working like a minimum wage job or whatnot. And two, you're female, right? Like that is rare in in an industry that is dominated by men. I mean, I would say, 95, 96% of trades companies are men, unless it's like an administrative role or a back office or whatnot. But when it comes to like people being out in the field, running these businesses, managing, it's a pretty rare occurrence that that a woman is at the helm. And so I think that's, some of the things that like you catch people's eyes or whatnot. And so like you have like this master ability to go and tell stories about like, hey, I'm this young female owning a handyman. So you ended up selling those companies, right?
Yeah.
Awesome.
All three. We just sold our franchise. Since it was a franchise, it was like we just got to a place where I was like, someone else wanted our franchises in our cities, and I was like, let's do it. Like, why not? Let's do it. So we sold those about 2-3 months ago.
So tell me this: how can storytelling impact anybody, regardless of what kind of company you own or whatnot? Give me the masterclass on that.
I feel like, to me, storytelling is really about like helping people see the vision that you want to create, but also the emotional attachment of why you want to create that vision. Like for me, like owning a handyman company might not be the most glamorous thing, but it was like getting people to understand why I wanted to do this. I wanted to go into an industry that I kind of had no right being in and run a team of guys that I had no right being the leader of, and like get into those positions, because then you either want people to root for you or honestly root against you. And I didn't really mind which direction they rooted in, because it's just people now have an emotional attachment to the thing that you're doing, which I think is super insane. And when you create that, you start to create that like mass movement framework where people start to like want to root for you or root against you. Like my favorite thing about storytelling is just like, you never ever know who's watching. Like you never know who's watching. I wouldn't have known that you would have ever seen a video of me sitting in my room in Canada on my computer answering emails. Like, how does that lead us to being here right now, or lead me to some of the most amazing friendships that I currently have, or different opportunities that I have? I think storytelling and the way that you can present what you're doing to the world is so valuable to get people to either buy in or out of the vision you're creating.
So I'm a big believer that our online profile is essentially our resume, and that, yeah, sure, maybe 95% of the views are irrelevant, right? Maybe it's somebody in South Africa, Canada, or whatnot watching it. It doesn't speak to my end audience, right? Like, say, for example, I own an electrical company in Chicago, right? And obviously I'd like to get more Chicago homeowners to get electrical services from me, right? Like that's the end goal. And I go and I tell this story or whatnot, and it's shared with somebody in Florida, or shared with it like, and yes, some of those things are irrelevant, but at the end of the day, I'm a big believer that like it's our online resume. So like if somebody is looking into your company and they go to your social media profile and they see this story of what's being like those obviously are the most important views.
Yeah, I think so too. And like a big thing for us is that we ended up getting, our client base was like highly women and moms and widows, and they just really loved that there was like a girl behind like the whole thing. Even though it was still men doing the jobs, it's still like all my guys, contractors, full-times, all men. Not that I just, no women applied, so not on me, but they just loved the idea that when they called, it was like me answering the phones. When things went like wrong or right or whatever the scenario was, I'd go up to their house and then they'd be like, oh, you run this? It was like such a nice feeling. And I think that they also just like, it helped to buy into what I was doing, being like, oh, you're just like this dreamer kid. Like, this is awesome.
You bring up a strong point, just like the power of having a woman's face in marketing or in the home services is like so valuable right now.
Yeah.
I saw a stat the other day. It was actually somebody promoting like, hey, if you went and started this type of company in the home services, and basically what it was is a company that appeals to single women that own homes, whether it's widows, never been married, divorcees, whatever else. It's something like 20 to 25% of all homeowners are that fit into that camp. And a lot of times those people, they don't feel comfortable dealing with some random dude coming into their house, that, hey, I'm not sure if there's background checks. I'm not sure like what has actually happened here, versus like having this nice forward-facing marketing face that, hey, I feel comfortable, right? Like appealing more to that, like, hey, I'm willing to pay for security and comfort over even a job well done.
Yeah. I think the biggest thing that like I wanted to do was everything that I did online was actually never promoting the work we did. There is not like one video of my guys ever finishing a job on my social media ever. It was always about like the back end of running this and what it takes to run it. And then my like story and the way that I've like used a lot of like the way that I've spoken into what I did was all about that. To me, what I was running wasn't about the work. It was about the communication. That's the broken part of this industry.
Right.
Like there are so many guys who do amazing work and like do it every single day, but like the homeowner doesn't really, they obviously care if the work's great, but it actually, the broken side of it is all the systems that back it all up. Getting companies that actually are going to call you after and be like, did you actually like, did you enjoy that? Was it great? Like, did you like the service? Like, or just people who answer their phones in general, who are happy to talk to you, because a lot of these trades guys who will answer their phone on the spot are also on the job at the same time.
Right.
And they're busy, and the last thing they need is their phone ringing off the hook, and they're doing admin in their trucks and whatever it might look like. And then if anything, like their customer service might not be at its best because like, I mean, you're busy. Like it's not their job to like answer phones and stuff. But then when it is their job, they don't really want to do it.
Right.
So then framing this whole company being around like, yeah, we do great work. Like that's a given. But we're here for the people. We have the systems in place. We have all the tech. We have like the communication is here. When you call, I will pick up my phone. Like that was the whole point.
I love that. And frankly, like that is not being portrayed in the home service industry, right? Like you're exactly right. Like you go to most of these guys' pages, their Instagram page or whatnot, it's finished work.
Yeah.
Right. Finished work and reviews. That's it.
A little like before and after swipe.
Yeah, maybe a before and after. Yeah. This is what it looked like. This is the work that was done. Mary said 5 stars. It was fantastic.
Yeah.
Versus, showing the actual pain points behind. I think that's phenomenal. Like that the focus is on that because that's such more of like the emotional time.
Yeah.
Right. Like all of our frustrations, at least mine, is dealing with customer service.
Yeah.
Right. Dealing with people that are just like ignorant in the way that they follow certain processes or whatnot. Like if you ever find me pissed off, it's usually because like I'm like, dude, that is just a dumb customer service person that like is trying to exercise their authority for no apparent reason and just making me mad. I actually just went through this when I was traveling home from Hawaii with a TSA person. I was just like, oh my gosh. But anyways, it's so intriguing. So tell me this. I'm going to give you a scenario and I would love to hear the way that you would portray the story. Okay. So if you were running this person's personal profile, how you would go in, and I'm going to give you a real life scenario. Okay. So there's a guy named Rob. So he owns an electrical company called High Caliber Electric. Okay. He's based in Antioch, Illinois.
Cool.
It's freaking cold right now.
Yeah.
Okay. He's got 4 vans on the road. Okay. So they're doing home service stuff for the electrical space. They do main panel upgrades, new wire runs, switch out different, plugs and switches and light fixtures.
Yeah.
Stuff like that.
Yeah.
Sometimes battery backup or whole home generators, that type of thing. Back office, there is a CSR that answers the phones, a girl that sets the appointments, guy that runs the warehouse. They have a small little warehouse, with supplies, 200 stars online reviews, and Rob is has a live-in girlfriend, no kids. He's been in this trade for 6 or 7 years. Been running the company just over a year, and has done a great job, built a nice local reputation. He's passionate about customer service and sales. He also understands the trade and knows how to go and like do the actual work.
Yeah.
Much of his day looks like training his team, going and interacting with customers, selling new jobs, making sure schedules are full and jobs are efficient.
Yeah.
So what is Understand. So that's the profile. What other questions do you have about Rob? I can try to give you, and then I would love to hear how you would portray that in a story.
I think I got it. Like, I feel like if he's running this day to day and he has a team, he has people are out executing for him, he has vans, it's cold, there's all this stuff, then I feel like if you start, from what I see about a lot of people who do social media and are in the trade space, is they talk a lot about the work that they do. And like you said, like before and afters, the client results, all of that. But people are so curious about other people's lives and the way that their lives work, is that if he documented his life behind the scenes, like I think one of like my best videos I ever did was how much money we made in a week, which like sounds a little egotistical, but like it was true. But there were some days that we hit 0, and it's like Tuesday 0.
I watched that video.
Yeah, and it's like doing stuff like that, or even like the stuff where there's one guy who does it really well, who owns like a snow plow company in Ontario, and he always makes videos about being like, today, like these are the plows we're taking out, this is what we're gonna do,
this is how much we charge.
And like
it's interesting.
People are so interested in that stuff.
People are intrigued in that, because like we had the Junk Teens on our previous, and one of their best videos is like they literally have a tally of like how much they charged, what they did.
Yeah,
I know your video. In fact, one of my best liked comments ever is on one of your videos. I don't know if you knew this.
I don't know that.
Yeah, and it was like, you should have raised your prices.
Yeah.
And so
it's so good.
And I think I have
it's
a
so
few
good.
thousand.
I remember that.
A few thousand likes on that. But
so
yeah,
good.
okay.
It's so good.
Keep going.
Yeah. I would picture I could imagine just doing things where it's like you make videos being like, this is how you treat your team, and you're not speaking from a place of authority. You're actually showing everything through action. Like one of my favorite things that I did was, I don't actually feel like I have any authority to preach on. I am not trying to tell anyone how to run a handyman company. I don't feel like I can. I feel like I can speak from my experience and my experience alone. But the best thing I could do was just show all of the action I was putting into the things that I was doing, because that speaks louder than any story I could tell. Like speaking into being like one of my favorite things is how we hired our guys, and like I didn't make a video about it, but like, because I wasn't doing videos at that point, but it would have been so interesting to like make a video, like being like interviewing the guys and like not filming them, but just filming me and the kind of questions I asked them, and then just making videos being like, here are the 5 questions, like not even framing it being like, here are the 5 questions I'd ask trades guys, because then you're putting yourself in authority, but framing it being like 22-year-old girl interviewing 45-year-old men.
These are the 5 questions that I asked these 45-year-old.
Yeah, and then being like, welcome to your interview, I'm your boss. And like because I'm young, I can like joke about it and being like, I'm your boss, let's get into this interview. Because that's what I literally did with these guys. But in Rob's scenario, if he did a scenario that he was like, I can imagine like him going to homes where the guys are working and being like, how long you been here? And he's like, oh, 6 hours. And it's like, okay, how much work have you done in 6 hours? What does that work equate to, like in like a monetary standard? Like, what does that look like? Or just doing, I don't know, like documenting more about what you're doing and speaking less about what you're doing, I think is really strong.
What do you mean documenting more and speaking less?
Like showing all the actions of what you're doing, not just like sitting, like we could sit here and I could tell you all about the handyman company, but it's not that interesting to hear from my mouth. It's so much more interesting to visually watch the story be told. I think like I do storytelling where I like actually will sit down and like tell a full story, but I also do a lot of storytelling where you just can get what's happening. Like there was a lot where I've done sales calls where I'm like calling back all the open estimates today. Let's see. And then I would make it a challenge and be like, how can I close $10,000 in 3 hours?
Speaking of which, I'd love to show a couple of your clips just right here.
Since the beginning of the year, I've had a secret goal to join this exclusive group, which is only people under 30 who all own businesses and meet on a private island once a year. But I don't make enough money yet to join. But the next best thing just happened to me. When my dad told me about this group a year ago, I just knew like I wanted to be a part of it. I believe that so much success comes from your network and how valuable you are to your network.
2 months ago, I got stood up by the same person 4 times, and it lost me $3,480. I'm gonna tell you about it while I also show you everything that's inside my work bag, shall we? People keep telling me to let it go, but I just can't. So here's what happened. First off, shitty headphones, covered in hair dye. 2 months ago, a company booked my handyman job for a multi-day job. My wallet. They've reached out weeks in advance, said they needed some handyman on site, gave me all the dates they needed us. So I cleared our calendar, moved at their work, and made sure my guys were available and ready. I'm a woman. Day 1, all good. My handyman shows up, does the work, and leaves. AI conversation recorder. I'm recording you. Day 2, he gets ready to go back to site. But when he gets there, they say, oh, we don't need you today.
Yeah, but things like that, just Like instead of just being like, oh, this is how I closed estimates today, blah, blah, blah. Then I actually am like, my goal, like, for example, it's just making all the boring things interesting. Everything we do every day is interesting to somebody if you frame it right. Because answering estimates is like, cool, I have 40 emails to answer. Not that interesting. But the minute I'm like, every single one of these emails is like a certain dollar value. So how can I close $10,000 in 4 hours? That's so much more interesting. And then I'm like, cool, okay, now the whole story is how can I close $10,000 in 4 hours? And then I film myself calling all the estimates back. And then you hear people being like, great, let's book it in. And I'm like, oh.
So let's talk about like camera angles, because I think you're pretty good at that. Like what is like the logistics of that look like? Because most of these guys don't have a full camera crew.
Yeah.
They don't have like the ability to just like be on camera all day. Like what pointers do you give to a guy like Rob?
The first thing I would say is just start filming with your phone. Like without even trying to think through like camera angles or anything like that. Like just start filming yourself.
What does that look like? Put it on a tripod?
I honestly, like the biggest thing I do is I have my phone, and I always use my phone to film. I don't use anything else. And I'll do like the 0.5 mode on my phone just so it's a little bit wider. And then I'll just flip it backwards and film whatever I'm doing. I started doing that just to get comfortable filming myself and being on camera.
So you're always using the back camera.
Always using the back camera.
Back camera, 0.5, get the wide.
Get the wide.
Are you gonna prop it up on whatever you got?
Sometimes I'll prop it up and like just film whatever I'm doing. It just, the whole thing of me starting social media just started with me filming everything that I was doing, and then I clipped it all together later and then usually like spoke over it, because that was like the most comfortable way I feel like I could create at the time.
So
voiceover. And then eventually I ended up getting more into like filming myself and then speaking in the moment about the thing that I was doing. But I always feel like the things that you see every day, people don't see every day. So getting creative about the way that you show your environment. Like the fact that I like getting a little more creative, that if, I don't know, if we're sitting here and the camera's right here in front of me, this angle is probably pretty like natural or normal to somebody else. But if I put the camera like on the ceiling and I was like looking up being like, oh, hey, like it's so much more visually captivating, because you wouldn't expect to see me from that angle, but you would expect to see me from this angle right here. So it's like just trying to frame it.
So then who's editing these?
Well, okay, it was me in the beginning. And then I ended up getting an editor because I would spend like 4 hours a night editing, because there was a time that I was posting every single day. And then so I had like
4 hours, shoot me in the face.
It's a lot because then I would work the whole day and then, you know, spend 4 hours editing, like falling asleep while I'm editing. And then eventually I got to a point where I was like, okay, like I can so buy back all this time, because I also will own I'm not even the best at editing. Like someone can do this better than me. So now I have an editor, and now it's like half and half. Like I'll cut things together and edit things together, but then he'll like add on like all of the things on top. Like I'll cut all the clips together the way I want them cut together, purely because I know like my personality or humor or like random, like while I'm filming, I'll like think like, I gotta keep that in. But I don't want to add all the text. I don't want to add all the photos. So then he'll like go and clean everything up for me, add music. He has a playlist I created that he can just pull songs from it. So I don't have to like,
you only use the same songs over and over again?
Pretty much, but the playlist has like 2,000 songs in it.
Oh, wow.
So yeah, it's basically like, well, my goal wasn't to like use a bunch of like Instagram audios that are like viral or anything like that. But my goal was to create a playlist of all the music I actually just love. And then so as you follow me, like even though you don't know it, like you're listening to my playlist, like that's what I would normally listen to. Because my goal wasn't really, it was just to figure out all the small things of how I can build a brand around me that people just start to know me really well, versus like you can know I was running a handyman company, sure, but yesterday I posted that I was drinking an energy drink, and I got so many people swiping up being like, no more black coffee, why aren't you drinking black coffee anymore? And I'm like, it's crazy, guys, it's just one day. But it's insane because it was a secret goal that I always had. Like there are little things that I do that people don't know that I do, but I do it on purpose, because there is one day a dream of mine that like isn't really a dream, but like is a dream, is to own a coffee company at some point in my life. Who knows when that is? I just love coffee, probably part own, I don't know. And so I'm gonna post that I drink black coffee every day, because one day a coffee company will come to me because I've posted about coffee so much in my life.
And they're gonna say, hey, we want to do a brand deal.
Exactly. And I have a coffee company shipping me coffee as we speak, because they were like, you drink so much black coffee, we would love for you to try our coffee. And I was like, so sick. Or I wear like chunky rings every day, which is like, I love wearing them, but also
You hope
that one day someone's like, hey, what about this? I wear Converse every single day. And it's not like I'm doing it for the sake of like what it brings me, but it's actually just a really core part of who I am. And the more I showcase that, the more people actually will get to know me. And then they notice like, oh, you're a lot more dressed up today. Because usually every day I'm in a hoodie. Like every single day I'm pretty much in a hoodie. So it's like those little things people just start to build patterns around who you are.
Love it.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah.
So going back to Rob, so
Forgot about my guy, Rob.
No, you're good. You started talking about like some of the things maybe you would document with Rob. Like give me one video right now that you would do for Rob, start to end. How would you do it? How would you film it? What edits would you put in place?
The first thing, if it's for the electrical company.
Yep. Well, his main goal is he wants exposure about electrical company, that potential customers that go in, they see Rob like, man, this is a guy that I like, and I want to do business with him over the other. Because here's the thing that I do know. In the trades, we are in a commodities-based business, right? There's not really a difference in wire. There's not a difference in plugs. There's not a difference in lights, fixtures, anything like that.
Yeah.
So at the end of the day, people are willing to pay more for people that they like, right? And obviously the experience and everything else. But the main thing that is a big separator in the space is if they see someone that they gravitate to. Yeah. So how are you going to pitch Rob in a light that is really going to make people love him, but also want to get their electrical services?
Does Rob have kids?
Rob has no kids.
Okay. Well, has a wife?
Rob has a girlfriend.
Okay.
I've been strongly encouraging him to get engaged to.
There you go. Get engaged, Rob. The first thing that I would think of is that like sometimes when you speak about yourself, like
Rob loves the Chicago Bears.
Okay, stunning. Sometimes when you speak about yourself, it's a little hard to like, I don't know, like I have a hard time like owning like, I don't know, who I am or personality traits, or like I'll always just be like, oh, it's fine. Like, I don't know. But it's so much easier to hype somebody else up that I feel like if he filmed like a day in his life of like being an electrician or running an electrician company, but had like his girlfriend, soon to be wife, girlfriend, like be the person who voiced over, but she doesn't know anything about electrical, could be really good for like couples. Like people love watching like other people support each other, that I could imagine like films his day.
Here's my boyfriend Rob.
Yeah. And then, or like I can imagine also like the text on the screen being something like, my day as an electrician, from my girlfriend who doesn't know anything about being an electrician. And then she's like, damn, he's just like messing around with the wires. I don't know. And then she's like, but look, lights work now. I mean, to be fair, you could totally storytell it like really well. But I could imagine like her voiceovering it. And then like, it's just like, instead of Rob pitching himself to you about why you should be an electrician, it's actually her being like, I'm like, she also comes from the perspective of like, if you're looking for that 20% female homeowner, she is the 20% female homeowner. And then she's speaking from her perspective. She's like, I don't know what electricians do, but they make that magic happen. The lights go on, my plugs work. It's great. So then her almost speaking into that, like, it's like you're almost like making a joke out of the fact that she doesn't know what electricians do all day, but they do stuff and they make good money. So I don't know. That's the first thing that I would think of. But
no, I love it. I think such a unique, and that can apply to many more people besides Rob, right? Like just, just such a unique perspective. Like, frankly, it's not things that I think about. And especially, at 22 years old, your generation is just so much better at the social media game. Like, so much better. Like, I like to flaunt that, like, hey, I'm 42 and a half. I know what I'm talking about. But like, I mean, you guys were raised on it. Yeah. Right? Like, I mean, I was raised on freaking dial-up internet. When I was like 12 years old and like, got my first smartphone when I was 2007. So I was, how old was I in 23? I was 23 years old when the iPhone first came out, but social media didn't exist for like another 5 years. And like, even then, and so, it's such a unique perspective of like storytelling. What other advice would you give around building that personal brand?
I would say like, just it's so easy to look at other people and like think they have it, like look at other people's content that does well and then be like, cool, I'm just gonna make content exactly like them. But I think the most valuable thing that you can own is your personality. And like, no matter how much you study someone else, you're never gonna graduate being them. So like, you should just study yourself. Like if your content isn't working, figure out what wasn't working and what was working, and then just like keep trying things, like keep putting in those reps. I still don't feel like I've put enough reps into social media to even feel like I fully understand a lot of it, but I do feel like I understand a lot of myself and what audience I've built and what they want to see. And like, it's so easy to like think other people's content is like, I need to make it like them, I need to make it like them, when like if you get creative and like making, no one lives your life. Like you just gotta be really creative in the life that you live. And so many of my friends do like the multi-scene storytelling where they're always like moving or different locations or always doing stuff like that. And that style like really blew up because some of them are honestly, they really spearheaded that being a style of storytelling, and they're really insane at doing it. And then all these other people tried doing it and it didn't work the same. And it's like, yeah, because you're studying being someone that you're never going to graduate being, because they're going to go and find new styles and new ways and new things. And then you're always going to feel like you're in a game of catch up. So I feel like it's like, just lean really hard into like what you know and what you want to do. But also just getting real, like if we were on a podcast, well, we are, but if we're on a podcast right now and I was making a video about being on a podcast with you, I wouldn't be like how like me and Chris are on a podcast. If anything, it would turn into being like one of those like stories where you're like, I don't even know how I got here. Like, how did I end up getting interviewed by you? That's insane. Or even making a joke being like, this guy has the top like comment on my story, and like, or being like, this guy 6 months ago told me to up my prices because blah, blah, blah. And then you turn it into like a much bigger story than what it actually is.
Right.
Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah.
Jade, thank you so much for sharing
you so much.
your knowledge. It's going to be extremely valuable to all of our listeners.
Love
Appreciate
it.
having you on.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.